Yo, head butts and slow blinks, good people. It's your boy Sterling, Trap King Davis.
And I'm Shannon Jackson, and this is Smush back here.
And this is the Same Team Podcast. Yeah.
Welcome. Finally, we're doing it.
The very first one, Same Team Pod. I know we've been talking about it, doing it forever. Preparing for it. It's been so much me and Shannon want to do, but I guess let's start off by introducing ourselves for those that don't know us for the very first episode. Yes. Shannon, my sister from another mister.
Yeah, my brother from another mother. Yeah, so we've known each other now for what? A couple years? 3 years? 3 years.
It's been about 3 years before the pandemic.
Yeah.
When we could go to cat events in person and not just virtually, for everybody that got Zoom fatigue out there.
Oh my gosh, yeah, right. except for Smush. She likes to crash my Zooms back there.
Right. Smush is back there extra getting it right now.
She's going after that worm back there.
That's how you gotta do it. So Shannon, I guess we could start. For those that don't know, I'll start. For those that don't know me, again, my name is Sterling Trap King Davis. I go by Trap King because of my TNR organization, Trap King Humane Cat Solutions. We focus on TNR and community cat care. So TNR is Trap Neuter Return. It's the humane alternative for death and euthanasia for stray and feral cat populations. So that is my main thing. That's my life. That's what I do. That's what people know me as and know me from. And I'm even in my RV right now, which I live in, probably about to go rescue some kitties right after we record this.
And after you got your coffee.
Right. I had to have my coffee delivered to the RV here. This is hilarious. And Shannon, I guess let them know a little bit about you and what that is. And Smushy.
Yeah, so Smush is back here. So most of you that are online probably know me from my cat, but I'm Shannon Jackson. I am a photographer, videographer. I actually got started with an animal welfare volunteering, taking pictures of animals to help them get adopted. Smush is actually from the rescue that I started and made a video. It went viral. She got famous, and then I'm trying to do something good with it. So I've been doing a lot of different animal welfare campaigns through social media, and it's really amazing. And my cat is awesome and the biggest diva in the whole world. But yeah, she inspires me to be a better person and every day, and just really put animals first within animal welfare, or try to anyway.
But that's why we're here, though. That's why we're here talking about everything animal welfare, rescue, cats. That's why we're here. That's kind of the purpose of this. That's why we have the Same Team Pod and the Smush the Beef section, where we really want to focus on bringing some folks together and rescue. We know about a lot of the fighting, bickering, not getting along. So with the Same Team Podcast, we want to bring the positive energy, talk about the things that need to be talked about, talk about the stuff that we don't want to talk about. Mm-hmm. And like I said, smush the beef. We got so much, you know what I mean? So much.
Yeah.
So much. Anybody in rescue, especially if you in cat rescue, you know what we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
Right.
All rescue. It's just, what brings us all together is our love for animals, but we're human beings, and we're not as pure as these animals that are just themselves. So a lot of times the issues that we have with ourselves and with each other, they manifest as all these beefs. I love that, by the way, Sterling. That he did not tell me that it was going to be Smush the Beef, because like we said, we've been talking about doing this podcast forever, and he sent me his text for this social media, and it was Smush the Beef, and I was dying. I'm because
it was so spurred of the moment, because at first I was thinking squash the beef, you got to squash the beef, and I'm like, wait a minute, the star of all of this is Smush. We got to smush the beef,
smush the beef. I love too that there's an internet celebrity cat that's like in the middle of this, because it also, I mean, Smush is just a rescue cat. Like she just, I don't know, people like how, people love her and they love what we have to say, but like it's cool because I feel like she is a reminder to me all the time about like what I want to do, with her huge platform, but it also puts the focus back on animals, if we're ever talking about that kind of stuff. And so it's cool because Sterling and I met back, at KittyCon in Tampa a couple years ago, and we both just kind of vibed with each other, and it's like, we started talking about just the different issues here and there. We would also see things come up on social media, like, I'm like social media all the time, and I'm like, oh my gosh, but it's just kind of like both of us separately have had our own experiences within animal welfare, with other people, and ourselves too. I mean, we're not perfect, but like,
Right.
just seeing like the kind of things that come up. And so we wanted to kind of open up conversations with other people within animal welfare where we can actually talk about it, because
Right.
talking about things, it's the first thing that's going to give it less power. And then we can put the focus maybe back on the animals and trying to help them. And like, you don't even have to like each other, like,
Right. I say that all the time, and that's what when we was first talking and building up this coming to this podcast that I'm crazy excited about. That would we would see something online or something to happen, and then we'll text or
Mhm.
message each other and be like, "Did you see this? Did you hear that?" And it's like, man, I wanna help it. I wanna do something like she said, like Shannon said, with this platform
Yeah.
that could help, like that could really help people. And that's where the whole smush the beef. I mean, we've been yelling same team forever. Like soon as we met, it was like same
Yeah.
team and high fives. Like,
Yeah.
like
Well, it's funny because like the hashtag same team, that always resonated with me. And I'm like, yeah. And like I think that's you putting that out there and saying that, it like also cemented for me, like I want to work with this person because we're doing the
right,
same thing, even though like we do different things. It's like we do different things online and in person, but like it's still like we're a part of the same team. And it's like,
right,
and we also like, like I'm a gay woman, and Sterling's like a nice black man with painted fingernails. And we're like, like different, we're just different people too. But like we also have a lot of the same experiences with people.
yeah,
And so, and I know for myself, like as a photographer, as someone who is volunteered with many different organizations and also professionally work with different organizations, it's always the same stuff that you hear with people talking shit about this one, that one, this one, that one. And it's like, imagine what would happen if you weren't like stewing and getting angry, while the animal's sitting in a cage somewhere, whatever, or like, so we just want to open up those conversations to find solutions to work together with these kind of issues because they're just they're human issues. It's like
right.
flawed humans like ourselves coming together because we love animals and we want to help them, but like, you know.
And that's the point. So I guess that I want to go ahead because we'll get to going. We're gonna be hey, we can talk. We've been talking. Let me tell you, before we even
Oh
start recording, we've been talking for almost 2 hours before we started even recording this. So
my God, we have.
so
Yeah.
trust me, we gonna be talking. We can talk. But I wanna just quickly go over how the setup of how we're gonna do everything. So going forward, this is our first episode, which is crazy. I can't believe we finally doing it. Well, I can, but we'll after this episode, we'll the same team pod will be on Patreon. And if you want to join and be a part of the conversation, then subscribe, join the Patreon page, and you'll be able to come in and join the conversations on the topics that we talk about. You'll be able to vote, give your opinion on what topics you think we should talk about in the future. And you'll be able to come in and comment as well on some of the issues when we smush the beef. And smush the beef is more like a segment of the show where we will have, if you want to, if you've been in a situation where you've not getting along or you're not seeing eye to eye and you want to come on the show, there's a application, a form from the Same Team Pod Instagram page, And you could fill that out to either come on the show, or you could just tell us about your situation, and we could talk about it with our patrons, with our Patreon guests. We could talk about it and discuss it. And the main thing is, like I said, is a positive outcome. It's not a space where we're gonna be like, well, she said this and he did that and I'm gonna knock them out. No, we are coming together looking for a positive outcome. So that's the whole point of it. Like I said, you'll be able to see the Same Team Pod probably right now. When you're seeing this, you'll be able to go on to Patreon, subscribe, and join the conversation with us. And like I said, we're gonna have some wild subjects because we can go. We can go.
Yeah, we can definitely talk. That is for sure. We had to write, like, it's like we better write something down, because like we start talking and it's like we just go, it's like we just pick up on each other's energy, I think. And we'll talk about one thing, and then the next thing we're talking about like 5,000 different other things. And then,
Right,
we got to rein ourselves back in. But it's cool though, because you guys will be able to, contribute to our conversation and like, give us ideas about some things that we want to talk about with you. And, and so, I mean, it would be really amazing to see people start, at least acknowledging that this is a problem too, because like that's part of the problem too, is that there's a lot of talking behind backs and things like that, because I mean, it's just easier sometimes to be angry rather than looking for like solution to some sort of conflict. But all of the conflicts, I feel a lot of times they all kind of go back to the same place, and it's usually people like, a lot of times people get a big head, or like, or people feel like they're not being heard or listened to, or like maybe somebody has something to contribute and they don't feel like, they're being like taught how to do something, or like anything like that,
right.
But again, it's always, it's individual personalities, which we all have different ones. So, and it's just, it'll be good, I think, to actually explore that, and come up for maybe some solutions with other people that are, like that we can talk about it. And hopefully, hopefully we can start a movement, like
Right.
really to like come together.
Same Team is supposed to be a movement, y'all. Seriously. And I'm really hoping, because like Shannon said, the issues, we gotta acknowledge that there are issues. When I first started with TNR, literally, it was like catch every cat you can. It was like, that's what it was. That was the thing. Catch every cat that you can, get them spayed, neutered, and vaccinated. And then I realized the issue was more so like, man, the people that's doing what I'm doing are hurting. They're sad. It's bad. So it was like, in order to get to the cats, we need to get to the people and help the people some more. And eventually I started realizing, when I learned about compassion fatigue and burnout, that's when I was like, okay, I think a lot of us are walking around and we've already hit that wall and have no idea we hit it. Like, we are already burnt out or suffering from compassion fatigue and we don't even know it. And I think that's where you hear a lot of and I think one of the signs I've seen in cat rescue, mainly TNR, is when you hear you see somebody at the clinic and you see somebody say, well, I trapped like 15 cats and you only got 2. You ain't doing nothing. That's like a sign, I think. In my mind, I think that's a sign, because now it's almost like it's a competition or something. Or now it's almost making somebody else feel as if they caught one cat that they not helping. And they are. You are helping. If you just trap one, or if you trap 20, or if you trap 1,000, or however, you are helping. So I think first and foremost, we gotta fix the fixers. And that's what we doing here, y'all. Same Team Pod, baby. It's a revolution.
Yeah. Well, and too, like a lot of times, a lot of people that love animals aren't necessarily people. And it's funny because Sterling and I, we are people, but we're also animal people. So like, but not everybody is like us. That's, I mean, I know I love people so much that like I get compassion fatigue from that, it's like from, trying to understand people, and it's just like, and it's just tiring sometimes. But like, you have to understand that like no matter what area you are also within trying to help within rescue, that like there's the people need love too, not just the not just, not just the animals. And so, but yeah, so we want to open up those conversations to maybe like, I don't know, come together, and I don't know what the answers are. So that's why we're starting this
We go.
podcast.
We about to find them. We're gonna find them. I always say, that the saying of you don't lose cool points for compassion. I've I've like Shannon said, I'm a people person and an animal person, and I'm a compassionate person to the point to where I can't cut it off and on. Like it's sometimes it's to a fault. Like I literally for an animal or a person, I can't cut it off. So if I see somebody hurt, I'm probably about to break down and cry. If I see an animal hurt, I'm probably gonna break down and cry. If I see a person helping another person, I'm probably gonna cry some happy tears. If I see a cat grooming another cat, I'm probably gonna cry some happy tears. So it's like I
Yeah.
can't cut it off. I can't cut my compassion on and off of this one particular thing, person, or subject. It's for all living creatures, and we gonna spread that. We gonna
Yeah.
spread that. I can't wait to hear some of the topics and subjects that y'all send to us on top of all the crap that we ready to talk about as well,
Yeah.
because it's a lot. It's a lot.
And we hope to have some professionals come on sometimes too, like therapy. Sterling and I are all about therapy. Like it's so important to take care of your heart and mind, like especially if you're a caring person. I mean, I feel like therapy is for everyone, but it would be nice to have some people, like a professional, come on sometime and like give some actual facts about compassion fatigue too, like so that
Yeah.
people don't really understand. It's like you might be feeling really frustrated, or like feel like you want to quit rescue, or like I don't want to help anymore. And it's like sometimes you do have to step away sometimes to take care of yourself. But like I hope that we can have some people sometimes come on to shed some, maybe some tips for us to tell you also
Yeah.
about what you can do for yourself.
I definitely know a few people that I want to have come on as guests, just because I know they hit that wall, or they've experienced some of those things as well. I know with me, like getting started, the woman that trained me, shout out to Mickey Blair. If you out there, wherever you are, I don't know. But Mickey Blair, a woman named Mickey Blair, trained me when I started in Atlanta doing TNR. And I literally watched, my hero burn out and leave completely. Like, I mean, her last words was, she gave me some of her memoirs, her writings, her notes that she would take on TNR. And she was just like, Sterling, here, you different. You are different for this world. Maybe people will listen to you because you're different. But she was like, I'm done. I can't take it no more. And that was the last time I saw Mickey. That was over 6 years ago. That was the last time I saw Mickey. And even to this day, the last things I heard when you ask about her, it's like, where's Mickey at? They're like, she went to walk the Appalachian Trail. It's like, what in the world is that? What is, like, she really burnt out right in front of me. So I not only helping others to fix the fixers so that we can help the animals more, but this is therapy for me and Shannon too. I
Oh
have to
yeah.
say that this is
Yeah.
this is
This
therapy
is,
for us
yeah.
too.
This is, and because it's a human problem. And it's funny because I do talks on using social media for good, and also do, well, pre-pandemic, it's like things have kind of changed. I've been in my house now, like I've become a cat now. Like now I don't like leaving my house, like because I feel feral. But like
Right.
I've done like workshops on
Yo, we
photography.
all feral now.
I know, I know it. But it's cool though, because I feel like from my own experience, even as like, you as a photographer who wanted to volunteer, like, it's awesome to be able to use those skills, but like people get big heads about that too, but really like, well, it's cool now with photography and like with phones, because I feel like so many more people can take good pictures of animals. But like back when I first started out, it was almost like I have heard experiences from talks that I've done within my photography workshops where people are like, well, I've been taking all these pictures, and like they won't use them. They won't use them because somebody felt in control of like the Facebook page or whatever. And it's like that's why like it's not really about you, it's about the animals. So it's like, if you have a skill that you want to contribute, whether it be trapping or fostering or taking pictures or whatever, it's like, it's hard sometimes, because when you come into an established organization, sometimes people have people get into their roles and aren't a lot of times open to new people. But like, I don't know, for myself, I feel like when I first started, I just kept doing it, and now I have Smush, so I'm just doing it on a large level. But I feel like, because like I kept showing up and doing that regardless, I feel like the universe is like, here, like, now you can go out and teach people how to do it, which is awesome. But like, I know a lot of people feel turned off sometimes when you go to a rescue and you really want to help, but like, it's almost like you're not given the opportunity to do your best. People don't trust others, and that's what it comes to. It's like, people don't trust others. I just thought of that right now. I'm like, it must be because of like,
But it's
like,
true. It's so
yeah.
true. Like, that was one of the things that I experienced first starting out, is that I realized a lot of people, because I look different, and people didn't trust that, hey, is he really here for the cats? Is he really about the cats? Does he just want to get popular or try to make money off animals? Like, is he really true to this? And that was like, I was like, man, my main focus starting out was the animals and then diversity. Because of that, I felt like I needed to make sure that more people that look like me could come in after me. So if I do everything right and perfect, they'll accept more people like me in this environment. That's how I felt about it. And I quickly realized that even though there are issues as far as race, it's issues all across the board. Like, even with a lot of the people in cat rescue that look alike, they fighting. It don't matter that they look different. It's bigger than just the race thing in animal welfare, because you have a lot of people that, like I say, look exactly alike down to the purple hair, and they still fighting. They still fighting
Yeah.
one another. So that's something we really, I think the better we can fix the human component, we can really be more effective on the animal welfare part. And like I said,
Yeah.
I realized that I know what I went through as a black man, but then I see the things that Shannon goes through, and then I see stuff that other people are going through that I didn't even know about. Like, I didn't, like, wow, that's the issue here. It's stuff that I never would have thought of, but
Yeah.
I see it happening. And like we said on the Instagram page when we first started it, we gonna talk about it.
We're gonna talk about it. I
We
know.
gonna talk.
It's funny because we actually came up with the podcast idea. Like, we didn't really know what we were gonna do. We knew we wanted to work together. Like, I mean, because I know Sterling has come on to like my platforms in the past, because like we just like connected with each other, and like I love what he's doing. Like, I love what you're doing, and I'm like, oh, I want to be a part of that, and I want to show people, like, I try to use my Instagram, like, and what has happened with like Smush's fame. I mean, my little celebrity diva, like, try to use it to show like different people within animal welfare that are doing different things, and kind of like bring people together. So it's cool because he and I, like, we kind of just connected because we really, like, I always say, Sterling, you're more like on the ground with the people. And I'm like, I'm like the Wizard of Oz behind Smush over here, like, trying to bring people together. But like, we didn't really know that we were going to do a podcast. We just knew we were going to work together. And then when Sterling came to where I live in Gainesville, Florida, we were going to do something together with a rescue in Tampa. And so it was like, we were driving, it was like me, Big Smush is like a big cutout that I take with me when I travel to shelters, since Smush doesn't travel. But like, we were both gonna go together, and we were doing like the rest, I forgot what we were calling it at the time. It was like the rescue road trip. I'm like, what do we
Rescue
call
road
that?
trip.
Like,
Yeah,
it
the
was like
rescue
last
road trip.
year. Yeah. And we're like in the RV with like Big Smush and like Demita and Alanis and me and Sterling. We're like rocking out to music. And it was like, wait, like, because I said I wanted to start a podcast, and he was like, oh, I'm like, we should do a podcast together. And it was like, it'll be the same team podcast. So it just, yeah. And it's taken us almost a year to actually get it together because of we're human beings and we've been dealing with lots of shit,
Oh,
personally,
the personal issues. It's crazy that we thought of it and came up with that in about 5 minutes. I think I literally remember us being in an RV listening to
Yeah.
Hall and Oates.
Yes, we were listening to
I
we
was listening to Hall and Oates. And it
were we
was
were listening to Hall.
and that's when the agreement was like, we gotta do a podcast. Like literally, I
So
remember it's one of
crazy.
my
Yeah.
favorite groups, Hall and Oates, and it was like right over
Yeah.
that, like boom.
Yeah, it was after we went to the store and got all your like veg or vegan jerky.
Right.
Like
I'm
vegan
kind of hooked on
jerky.
vegan jerky, y'all. It's bad. It's out of
Yeah,
control.
he's really bad with like so many. He's like, let's go in here and like get this vegan jerky. It's really delicious. I've never had it, but
It's
anyway,
good, but if you eat it as much as I do, you probably go crazy.
yeah,
I'm hooked. I love the vegan jerky.
everything in moderation. Like you gotta
Right,
do
right, right,
everything in
right, right.
moderation.
Like I
But
need to
yeah,
do with this coffee.
yeah, I got my coffee here too. But yeah, it's cool because like we came up with the idea, and then after like Sterling stayed in Tampa a couple days after I left and came back to Gainesville, and he had Big Smush with him in the RV to take pictures, and then also you were promoting what are they called, Chalky's
Oh yeah,
cat,
rescue
the
chalk. Yeah,
Chalky's cat rescue.
yeah. Chalk.
Nicole, I forgot the name, Nicole, if you're out there. But anyway,
All
but
right,
yeah, I'm like,
Nicole.
hey, Nicole. But it's like, take Big Smush with you, because like, because that way it's like, oh, Big Smush can be out there and like promote what they're doing. But like Sterling came back here and we were on my porch, which I'm gonna post this video later today. But
Gotta
like,
post this.
I know, like we were having a glitch with like the collaborator feature, but it's working now. But like we were sitting on my porch here, and it was like we recorded it. Like I don't know why I had the foresight to do it. I knew too. It was like knew that we were going to record this video about the podcast. So I'm going to post that. But yeah, like it's good to actually be in a place to actually be recording, and I'm excited to see what happens. I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say, because obviously like there's things that I don't know until people tell me that go on, and it's like that's what we are hoping to do here, is just open up these conversations with individuals, because other people are going to hear it and be like, oh wait, I've experienced that too, and hopefully we can come up with some ways that we can work together, because we really are all on the same team. Like we're here for the
Yeah.
animals, in
Even
whatever way that
and
we're doing it.
like you said earlier though, Shannon, it is, even if you don't necessarily like someone, we're still on the same team doing the same thing. You don't have to like, but you don't have to work against. And I think
Right.
that's the thing that I've seen, we've all seen it a lot, is that we get to a point to where we don't, a human issue, two people don't like each other, and like Shannon said earlier, you have an animal sitting over here in the cage suffering while these two
Right.
people duke it out
Fighting.
verbally or whatever
Right.
because
Beefing.
they're upset.
Beefing.
Yeah, they beefing. But and it's so crazy because I've traveled the country doing this. Like I said, I'm in my RV now, and I'll travel and go so many. I've did some TNR in Los Angeles, Chicago, went in Florida. Like when me and Shannon, we went out to see. Oh, shout out to Chris Poole and Jess. We went
Oh
Cola
my God, yeah.
Marmalade, hung out
Love
with
them.
them, did some trapping with Chris Poole and everything. So we, traveling around, I've seen it so many times where you're working with one group doing TNR, and then you get a call from another TNR group up the street, and they say, "Hey, you better not work with that group. They ain't real. They don't really they abuse cats and they don't do this right." And I'm like, "Really? Like, why would you do that?" And then I talk to them in both the groups, like, "Yeah, we don't like them." And it's like, y'all are
Yes.
right around the corner from each other. If y'all could work together and combine resources,
Right.
it would be so much more effective for the animals. But it's literally at a point where, you know what? I just don't like this person. I
You
could
don't
tell you,
have to.
yeah, and that's the thing. It's people that that I feel like I've been burnt by. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm not about to be out here disrespecting the great work that they doing. If just because
Right.
we're not best buddies, don't mean we have to work against each other. So
Right. Yeah. Well, and you know what the thing is too, is that like we are all on the same team, whether people want to admit it or not. like that's why there's all these divisions, because it's like we all are anybody who wants to make the world a better place for animals, no matter what you're doing, we are on the same team.
Right.
So, it's like, what's going to make it better, So, I mean, and it's all these human problems. And I feel like what Sterling just said too, like hearing one rescue up the street talking smack about this other one, like I really hear that stuff, I feel, because of like my position. Like I haven't really been out in my own community too much recently, just because I do so much online, and like well, when I have been traveling, I've gone other places like with Big Smush and stuff. But like I have heard like people tell me everything, and it's like it's always the same thing. It's like one person will be saying this thing about this person, and then I'll go to the next rescue, because like I'm like Sterling, where I'm going to rescue because I'm in a position where I'm just, I get to do the fun thing and take the picture or whatever. But it's like, gosh, I'm like, but like even I feel like burnt out from it, because it's like I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to hear about that when I'm here trying to do something good for the animals. But the thing is, because we need to talk about it. We need to talk about it. So that's why we're here.
And it hasn't, unless we talk about it, it's not gonna get better. That's
No.
the thing for everybody when we get, because like I said, this is the first episode.
First
So
episode.
when we get into this and we have everybody, when we have people, patrons joining the conversation, we want to make sure that when you come on, if you come on, or if you want to be anonymous and you just give us permission to speak about your situation, we want it to be understood that this will have a positive ending. At no
Yeah.
point are we going to end this on a negative note. We want this to end on a positive note, because we need to. I've just, this is something I've just started saying like a lot, and I think we probably need to get a shirt made like this. But this simple statement: volunteering and rescue is supposed to be fun and rewarding. Remember? Remember that? Like, if you volunteer and you give, it's supposed to make you feel good. And we don't want to get to a point to where it's just all full of the negative. So when you come on, or if you fill out a form and it's for us to just anonymously talk about the situation, please understand that we're looking to only end this on a positive note. Even if
Right. And
you're
this is
talking
a
bad
safe.
about one of us.
Yeah, it's fine. But this is a safe space. It's like we want you guys to feel like you can feel comfortable talking about things without being afraid to be shot down. And I think that's also why, if there's like a specific situation that you guys want us to talk about, half the time there's someone out there that is experienced the same thing. Like you don't have to go and fill out the form and talk about like names or anything like that, but like to just have a safe space to talk about it. And you can do it anonymously, and Sterling and I are going to come and open up the conversation when we have other people involved with our Zoom meetings, on our same team, hopefully weekly podcast.
Right.
We'll see how I'm doing all the editing. So we're going to see how long it takes for me to put all this stuff together. So bringing the skills to the team. But yeah, but we want you guys to feel safe. This isn't a place to come and like bash people, or this is a place to come and like actually talk about hard things and like try to come up with solutions to make it better, not just for the animals but for the humans helping them.
And you know one thing, and I haven't even told you this, Shannon, yet, but one of the things that I love already, the reason why we kept talking even before we got this started, and we just kept revisiting one another, even after going through deaths in the family, divorce, everything we've both been going through. We kept coming back to each other, talking like you remember, we got to do it. And
Yep.
the reason I love it so much being with me and you, because I've been in interracial relationships before, and we've gone to therapy. And I remember me and my girl, and we talking, and we like, okay, we need a therapist that can relate to both of us somehow. Like she's gonna probably need to be a black woman because you're a woman and I'm black. Like, you know what I mean? Like we was like, we need to get the person that can relate to both of us.
Yeah.
And that's what I like about me and you, Shannon, is that, and I want people to know when you come on the show, it's not just one point of view, it's not just one outlook. You literally have two people that have, completely different as far as the view of the world, but we've had so many different experiences, different outlooks, and I want to be able, when people come on, we all be able to relate and learn from one another. Even
Right.
with the race thing, I think one of the things that makes it an issue is because there's no space to actually discuss it. Like, where can you go and say some things without being beat down or shot down and looked at like, hey, you wrong for even thinking that? Maybe you don't know. Maybe we need to discuss it. Maybe there's some learning that needs to be there. So
Yeah.
that's what we doing here. That's all I love about BAU, Shannon, with the
Yeah.
bringing our worlds together.
I know. I love it. It's so good too. And like also I know that both of us are really open people, like to like, I mean, like we are like we're just human beings on the planet, like trying to make a difference. So it's like, but like it, oh, I know for myself, like when I talk to different people, there's so many different experiences. And also, everybody brings so much to the table as far as like your own background and like what you've experienced in your life. And, and just the way you're wired. And like, so, like some person might be doing one thing for because of who they are, and then
Right.
someone else who doesn't see the world like that, they're like, well, that person is doing this reason, and they just, you automatically come up with some idea of why they're doing it, like, oh, they're doing it because they want all the glory, or they're doing it because, like, I don't know, they're controlling or whatever. But it's like, but when you actually sit down and talk to a person and actually discuss like what you actually or have on the inside, it bridges those gaps. And so I'm hoping that having this podcast and having this open yet safe forum, because we're doing it through Patreon, so you have to subscribe to come in. $5 a month, that's it.
That's it.
That's it.
With that,
cheaper than that coffee right there, cheaper than
right,
that
right. But
but
with
like it's,
that though,
yeah.
with that, you'll be able to come on, be a part of the conversation on the Patreon page, and any exclusive behind the scenes content. That's where it'll be, probably a ton of bloopers and crazy stuff as well. Who knows?
Yeah.
But that's where we looking at. And I can't, like I said, it's amazingly exciting to finally get to this point. You made me think of something too, a topic already, because
Mm.
you said controlling. That's a
Oh yeah.
topic. Listen, one of these.
I'm controlling. I am controlling. I am controlling.
Oh yeah, I know. And let me tell you, everybody, me,
I
I'm
am.
controlling, and then not on, but I'm willing to bet the majority of TNR people are controlling. You can't tell me you're not, because
Yeah.
I done met so many people. We doing TNR, and it's like, you know what? I need it done this way. I need this done that way. I need this done that way. I'm not about to sit and argue with anybody on how to do it. I'm just gonna go over here, do it myself so I can do it my way. And that's is so many people in rescue that's moving like that. And I'm not saying it's horrible. I'm not saying everybody needs to stop, but the majority of us have to learn to work together
Right.
to extend the effort to make it uh better for the animals, for real, to get to that goal, to that mission. So controlling, we gotta talk about that. How many
Yeah.
of y'all out there feel like I
Mhm.
ain't even let nobody else near my colony?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it is. It's like that within like all different. It's like that everywhere, really. No matter where you work, like if you're working in animal welfare, like even at our jobs, like I mean, a lot of times it just people feel like they're the only one that can do something the right way. But the thing is though, when you actually like work together and like sometimes like somebody has a better way and like maybe you have a really good way too, and then you know again, you don't have to even like the person, but like
Right.
to at least be open to like, why does this person think this is the best, and why do I think this is the best? Like let's talk about it, and like maybe like work, maybe they're both the best.
Right. And then I'm a firm believer in balance is the key to life.
Oh,
So
I'm a
maybe
Libra.
it could
I
be
need
like you
it.
said, maybe a little bit of both ways, maybe we
Yeah.
could come together because I've learned like I said, working with other people, I've learned so much, but when I first started lining my traps, I probably just used newspapers. And then later on, you see somebody using pee pads and you like, wow, it's mind blowing. And then you realize I can use pee pads or newspaper depending the situation, depending on the wind, depending the type of bait I'm gonna use, depending the type of cats I'm trying to trap. Like it's so many things that go with it, and we can learn from one another. So I think that's a big deal too. I'm hoping I even get some old trapping tips
Oh yeah, I'm
from
sure you
everybody
will.
out there.
Yeah.
And give some out because I got some tricks up my sleeve too.
You always have tricks up your sleeve.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to. Hey, I told people, and I'm so mad I didn't record this because nobody. You ever do something and or you see something and nobody's there with you, and you like nobody's ever gonna believe this. Like I wish
Well,
I had my
yeah.
phone out because nobody's gonna believe this. I trapped a cat once with no food
Oh.
in the trap. It literally using a laser light.
Oh my God,
I'm
that's
stand
awesome.
like from the
That's
porch.
good.
I'm literally running the
Yeah.
laser light, and the cat just
Oh,
finally, bam, ran right in the trap. And I was like, "Oh my god!" The one time I'm not recording or on my
right.
stupid phone,
Oh my God. You know what's
this
so
happens.
funny? Somebody is going to hear this on the podcast, and I bet they're going to try that.
Oh yeah, you gonna
Yeah.
have you
Yeah.
gonna. I need to put out a disclaimer or something. Be careful, y'all. Don't
Yeah.
run no
Right.
cat to
Like,
the street or nothing for real.
well, that's like somebody. There's a girl. Her name's Allie. Hi, Allie, if you're out there. She's like, she started out as like Smush's #1 fan, and we've become friends over the years. Like when I had Smush Foundation, she used to like make stuff for me to raffle off and everything. But she got into TNR because I promote Operation Catnip, which is our local TNR organization here in Gainesville. Hi, everybody at OC. I love you guys. Which Sterling
Oh
actually, yeah, Sterling came and trapped cats
yeah.
with Operation Catnip. But yeah, so I mean, I talk a lot about, TNR and like, because my skill set is like video and photography and then social media. So like, but anyway, like Allie had reached out to me and was having issues trapping a cat that she saw. And she was so funny because she actually had binoculars, like these binoculars from like upstairs in her apartment, and like she was sending me these pictures. But anyway, I connected her with someone that I know within a rescue in Pennsylvania because that's where they live, and she gave her the idea of fried chicken, which apparently I did not know that
Oh,
because like personally I don't trap cats. I just talk about it because I want people to know about, want people to know about it. But yeah, but it's cool because like she had a conversation with this woman from a rescue, like that I happen to know. But it's just cool when people come together like that and give
yeah.
ideas. It's like she found out about TNR from Smush, from like, some video that I did highlighting Operation Catnip, and she's like, I want to do this. And then I connected her with another woman, and then she trapped the cat, and I think her parents ended up adopting the cat. But like, it's
Oh,
just
this is dope.
it's amazing what we can do when we share ideas with each other too. And I think sometimes people also get really possessive of their ideas, and they're like, oh, well, I don't want to tell this or that because this is what I do or whatever. But like, we're only stronger together, like,
Right.
honestly. So yeah, I'm really excited that we can open up all these conversations, like, and talk about, it's not all going to be negative, like problems. Let's talk
Right.
about some success stories about, hey, like maybe somebody out there listening to the podcast right now, like maybe you have something that is a success story about how you had maybe a conflict with someone and you work together, and like that will be inspiring to someone else to hear it,
And that's another thing. I don't want people, we don't want everybody to think that it's all just, we don't want y'all to be like, okay, is it just for fights and stuff like that? No,
No, no.
definitely with this space, with this platform, we want to be able to highlight too. Because again, I think that's
Hmm.
another part of fixing the fixers or helping the people that's helping the animals is everyone will say they don't want or care about the recognition. but it's nothing wrong with a pat on the back. And a lot of times, if you
No.
don't at least pat yourself on the back, it's hard. It's hard to carry on. Like it's in this field, in any field of service, where like you could be a counselor. I have a little sister that's in counseling. Shout out Sherelle. And they deal with compassion fatigue and burnout the same way. If you're into this any type of service industry, if you serving, it can happen. So even if you're not cat folks, if you dog people, we all good. If you just working in service, come holler at us still, because it's needed. It's needed. And that's how we get it better. So it ain't just the negative and the fights and stuff. It's highlighting too. I definitely want to highlight so many people that I see, because again, Mickey Blair, who trained me, was one of the amazing women that, I mean, you wouldn't know who she was. And she is,
Yeah.
I still to this day even though she's somewhere not doing it anymore because she stopped, I still don't think that I've caught up to her as far as how many cats she trapped and all that she's done. Like she was, and there's so many people out there like that. I tell people all the time, when you see Trap King, it ain't because I think I'm the king and I'm trapping more and better than everybody else. No, it's just taking pride in what I do. And if you somebody doing it, if you doing it, then you a trap king or you a trap queen. So, just promote that good energy. You
Yeah.
definitely got to highlight some folks.
Yeah, that's so important. And like I found that out too, like even with like what I've been doing with Smush, like we have a whole like branded campaign now with a bunch of people working to end the cat meat trade in Southeast Asia. And that's what like this is, like fight for cats, but
Yeah.
it's amazing because I had a meeting with Four Paws yesterday, like shout out Claire and Ren. But I was telling them about the podcast because they know I mean, we have meetings sometimes and like they know that Sterling and I have been wanting to do this, but like I would love to have them come on the podcast sometime because it's like all of these different people coming together to fight for animals, fight for cats. And it's like that whole thing started out with me and a friend of mine, Catherine. Hey, if you're out there, but like, she was the vet working in Southeast Asia. And like, she put my little warrior magnet, like logo for Smush, on a little cat that kind of looked like Smush. And I posted it and it blew up. And now it's this massive campaign with, all of these organizations coming together. And it's about the cats, but it's also about the people. And it's like, to me, that is so like I'm always talking about that from Smush, about how it's teamwork that comes together. Like if and I love that I know it's like I can say anything from Smush, which is amazing, but like it also keeps me in check because like Smush is like, like I feel a huge responsibility with the massive platform that I have to try to do something good with it. And I'm glad for that because like, but anyway, it's just, I feel like my experience working with Four Paws, Vietnam Cat Welfare, like Paws for Compassion, like all these, and Perry's Place, LA and California, like all of these people have come together for the animals. And then with my community, I have a smush pillow that's traveling around right now. And Sterling, do you know Lil Chris? You know Lil Chris,
Oh,
right?
little
And his
Chris.
mom
Heck
Erin.
yeah.
Yeah. So
I
Catastrophe
remember little
Meows.
Chris when he was like,
Lil Chris
we
is
gotta
big
call him
Chris
Big
now.
Chris now.
Oh, and you know what? Like, I just because like we can right now, Lil Chris wrote a book. They send it to me, and it's all about their cat Mouse. You guys should buy it. It's on Amazon. It's amazing. But like that's what I mean. Like, let's support each other. Let's support
Right.
each other. But like they had Smushy too, the pillow, and like Lil Chris and his mom went to Perry's Place where the cats that we flew over from Vietnam were. And like, and then we posted it on social media because we were trying to find those cats home to tell their stories. What an amazing look what can happen when people work together. It's amazing, like I never expected any of that to get as big as it did. But like to me, like I feel like if I had just stayed in my own like, oh, I'm just gonna post my cat, like, I don't know, like, I feel like, but it's because I'm an animal welfare person, like, and I want to talk about that sometime on the podcast about like, people adopting cats that look funny for the wrong reasons,
Oh
like,
my
we
goodness.
can't, yeah,
That's
but like,
gonna
because
be a that's gonna
I
be a whole topic right there
yeah, because
because
like I never want to promote that at all. Like that's why I don't really talk about the way Smush looks too much. I mean, she's adorable, but she's a rescue cat. Like it took five different individuals and like lots of people coming together donating to save Smush's life. And so that's the thing. It's like for me, it's like I feel like I wouldn't even have my amazing soulmate cat, who's my best friend in the whole world, without all of the people coming together within an animal welfare. And like, like if it wasn't for Lindsay, shout out Lindsay. We're just giving so many shout outs.
I
I
know,
love it.
right?
Yeah, same team, but like
Same team, baby.
same team, exactly. But it's like Lindsay was a vet student, and like she, like Smush was as a kitten was turned into the University of Florida, like, and she needed someone to take care of her. Like kittens cannot survive without, if they're not eating, without round the clock care. There was no rescue to take her, and so like Smush would have been euthanized if Lindsay didn't take her home. And then it was like she got passed around from like person to person for a while, and then eventually ended up with me, which I love her. But like I feel like
That's what she
I'm
was
so
supposed to do.
inspired by that. I'm so inspired by like the people, and like from the beginning for me, like that's why I've always talked about that. But I also think that's what brought me and you together, Sterling, is that
Oh
like
yeah.
we have that same mindset. It's like I don't just have a famous cat. Like I mean, I'm a rescue person. Like the only reason I have Smush was because I was taking pictures at the rescue, and then I fell in love with her picture online, and like, and here we are. I mean, she's been challenging, but yeah, like it's, I mean, so many people all over the world love my cat, like, and love like what we have to say. And I know that if it wasn't for the people within animal welfare that came together to help her, none of this podcast wouldn't even be, because Sterling and I probably wouldn't even know each other.
Mm-mm.
So
I'll be
same
somewhere
team,
rapping somewhere still.
same team.
I would still be somewhere rapping. That's why I say that's definitely gonna be a topic. Special needs cats, because I can't wait to discuss that on both ends. On both
Yeah.
ends. Because I hear so much where I know there's people that try to get a cat to look a certain way and you want to put them out there on social media, but then you have people that's doing that and complaining about it too at the same time. It's like I don't want anybody else to do that, but here's mine's. Like
Yeah. But I
whatever
think,
you doing, however
yeah.
you doing it, I feel like let it be help. Let it be helping the overall mission, the most important thing. If you like being in front of the camera yourself, I hope when you're in front of that camera, you're doing something for the mission. I'll leave it there until we
Yeah.
get further into that topic later
Yeah, because
on, because
that
that's
topic
intriguing.
is like, like that topic is, I've had experiences with that particular topic where it's like people are putting cats in bathrooms, taking their picture because they look funny, because they want social media likes.
Yeah.
Nobody should ever do that. So that's like, anyway, but like my cat is a rescue. Like that's for me, it's like I'm so happy that this happened, even though sometimes I get really overwhelmed with it, because I have a full-time job and then I do all of this with Smush. But it's like, but it's amazing. It's amazing. And I know that, like there's just everything is connected. And that's why we're here now to talk about like, let's try to make the world a better place for animals in whatever way, we can. And yeah.
So before we close out the first episode, I want to say, for one, thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you go check out you subscribe to the Same Team Pod if you want to be a part of the conversation. It's not just only going to be for Patreon. Patreon is for if you want all the behind the scenes and you want to join the conversation, but we will make this available on YouTube as well for everybody to see. So I don't want you to think that it's just only Patreon. Patreon is for if you want all the behind scenes, with Smush and my big head butt and Shannon and Rita and Alanis and everything else, and be a part of the conversation. But this will be available for all on YouTube. I want to say send us in some topics, some more once you come on and subscribe. We got some, like I said, we've just discussed and talked about a few. And again, the IG page, you can go to the Instagram, the Same Team Pod Instagram page, click on the link and you can fill out a form. And like I say, you could be anonymous and tell us about your situation, or you can come on. You can come on and talk about it. But we are unscripted and positive with it. So
Yeah.
you want to come on, just know it's gonna be positive, it's gonna be love. That's how we gonna end. And like I say, a lot of stuff we got to get out there. I know some feathers gonna be ruffled because I'm gonna bring on a breeder. How about that?
Oh.
We're gonna do it. But yeah, we're gonna get out of here for the first
episode. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast anywhere that podcasts exist, definitely on Spotify. So you can subscribe. We're going to try to do this weekly. We're going to see how much time it takes, but that is the goal. So give me some positive energy out there, like, even though you're going to hear this after. So I guess Sterling, you just like, I'm going to go into like the editing space. So, but yeah, and then we're going to release it on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, like anywhere that you can subscribe to the podcast. So it will be there. And then the behind the scenes stuff will be on Patreon. And if you go to the Instagram, you can click that little link up there to the form if you have something to say that you want us to talk about eventually. Come on, whatever. But yeah, I mean, we're really happy that you're here. We hope to create something amazing with you. And same team.
Same team, baby. Together is how we do it.
Together.
Love y'all, and we will holler at y'all next episode. Peace.
I wish Smush was here.
I know, right?
She's in the other room. Smush sends her love and hisses.
Peace out, y'all.